Hello everyone. My name is Caroline Hughes. I'm the Interim Associate Dean for Academic Affairs in the Keough School for Global Affairs. And it's my very pleasant task this evening to welcome you all to the Keough School ceremony to celebrate the graduating class of 2021. Please sit down. We are here today to celebrate the achievements of graduates from our PhD program and from our MGA program. We're so glad that families and guests were able to join us either here in person or online to celebrate the extraordinary journey taken by this remarkable class over the past 15 months in particular. In my 25 years as a faculty member at different universities around the world, I have never encountered a graduating class that has had such difficult struggles to contend with in their journey through the program. We are so proud of the way that these students have worked together, supported each other, and ultimately prevailed. On behalf of the faculty here at the Keough School, I would like to tell you that we will never forget this year, and we will never forget this class. And we will never forget the remarkable dedication you showed to completing your studies and setting out to make a difference in the world, even as the world appeared to be collapsing around us. Having seen the way that you have coped with such a difficult start to your various careers, we fully expect to hear great things of you in the not too distant future. In a moment, we will be inviting our students one by one to come up to the stage to receive their congratulations from the Dean and their celebratory stole. But before that, to start the proceedings, I would like to invite Professor Asher Kaufman, Director of the Kroc Institute for International Peace Studies, to say a few words.
Thank you all. Thank you for coming. Let me endorse Caroline's words about the achievements that you have all made following this very, very difficult year and a half. I'd like to say a few additional words for our fabulous the five PhD students who are sitting here with us. Dear graduates, families and friends of the Kroc Institute and the Keough School, it gives me great pleasure to speak to you all at this celebratory event where we honor the achievements of our graduating students, the MGA students, including the five newly minted PhDs from a Peace Studies doctoral program. Colleen, Leslie, Drew, Garrett, and Michael, I believe from a distance. Together with the five of you, we now have 32 PhD alums who are part of the very large alumni network of the Kroc Institute of more than 1,800 graduates of our academic programs. 13 years ago, when the PhD program was launched, we were hopeful, but we did not think in our wildest dreams that it would become one of the most successful enterprises, exemplified in the very large number of applicants, the strong student body and their research, and their post-graduation placements in academic and non-academic jobs. These achievements would not be possible without you, our students, who are the real drivers and reasons for the success of the program. I know this journey was not always easy. Some of you raised families along the way, yet others faced life challenges and obstacles, including a global pandemic. But you have all pulled it through, and I commend you for your efforts and successes. Well done. I know there is great uncertainty in the next stage in your lives. You may be asking yourself, where will you be 5 years from now? COVID has only aggravated the crisis of higher education in the United States. But I'm optimistic about you all because I know your strength and resilience. And I know you will do well wherever you end up. I know it personally since I was involved in your recruitment in one way or the other. I think each and every five of you. So congratulations again on your achievements. Please stay in touch and always consider the Kroc Institute and the Keough School as allies in your future work and occupations. And as peace scholars and practitioners, And this applies also to our MGA graduate students. Committed to world peace. On your way out of this event, don't forget to hug a tree. Please allow me to introduce Professor Kat Bolton, the Director of Doctoral Studies of the Keough Institute, Associate Professor of Anthropology and Peace Studies, who does not really need introductions in this forum, who is doing an exceptionally good job leading the program. She will introduce our fabulous five.
Thank you so much, Asher. Thank you, everyone, and congratulations to our graduates. Your perseverance, especially in this tumultuous last year, is inspiring, and I am honored to have served as your director. So we now recognize the Keough School's doctoral students who were awarded their degrees at this morning's graduate school ceremony. Colleen C. Cross from South Bend, Indiana, Peace Studies and Theology. Garrett R. Fitzgerald from Louisville, Kentucky, Peace Studies and Political Science. Leslie E. McColeman from Canby, Oregon, Peace Studies and Sociology. Richard Drew Marcantonio from Corpus Christi, Texas, Peace Studies and Anthropology. And in absentia, we'd like to recognize Michael G. Jankowski from Parker, Colorado, Peace Studies and Theology. He's watching on Zoom. So.
I would like now to introduce Becca Mendez, Associate Director of the Master of Global Affairs program.
Before I address the graduates, I want to express mountains of gratitude to those of you who have taught these students over the past years, to the staff and administrators for your genuine concern for their growth, to those of you who funded the program, who have provided life-changing scholarships for these students, and very importantly, to those of you both here and in spirit, their communities, their families, their partners, children, and friends. Your support has been life-giving to these students. Thank you. Master of Global Affairs graduates, who would have imagined how much life we would live in 2 years? I've been very grateful to hear your end of program reflections in the past few weeks, how you've been impacted by the relationships you've built with your classmates from all over the world, how the courses and field experiences have expanded your perspectives, and how you've grown in confidence, resilience, and clarity of direction. You're a very special group to all of us, but to me in particular, because I only started in this position 1 month before you all showed up. I'm so grateful for the passion and concern for social justice that you've brought to us, and for the ways that you've leaned in on connecting with one another. I think of you as a group of students with a great deal of tenacity, On the west coast of the United States, where I grew up, there are steep cliffs above the rocky Pacific Ocean shoreline. And there are evergreen trees growing out of those cliffs hundreds of feet above the water. Most of these trees only have branches on one side because of years of enduring forceful winds. And I think of you, graduates, like those trees. Think of how deep and strong their roots must be. How they both flex with the wind, but also remain steadfast. The work you have chosen to do in peace building, sustainable development, and global affairs is going to be tough. This world needs so much healing and change. We're grateful that you've chosen this vocation because the world needs people like you who will listen to your moral compass to guide the way you engage in your work and in your lives. I would now like to invite Hugo Ernesto Flores Navarro to the stage to share his reflections on behalf of the Master of Global Affairs class of 2021.
Good evening, everyone. So I would like to start by thanking again our parents and families who raised us and who have supported us to be able to be here in the first place, our professors who share their invaluable knowledge and themselves with us, the Keough School and the University of Notre Dame, and everyone who works in it, the staff, the deans, who have committed themselves to create and sustain this institution with the mission to improve our society. And of course, the generous donors without whom this wonderful program and experience would not have been possible. Since we are at Notre Dame, I want to honor the Catholic tradition and its wisdom. The most important teaching in Christianity is the following. Whether we believe in Jesus as God, a prophet, or a historical figure is not important. In the Gospel of Mark 12:31, Jesus tells the scribes when they are asking him about the commandments, "Love your neighbor as yourself. No other commandment is greater than this." Love your neighbor as yourself. No other commandment is greater than this. This is supposed to be the single most important teaching of Jesus and the basis of Christianity as a whole. Now, why is this important? Because we can trace all the problems of society back to forgetting this principle. And we also can find solutions to society's problems by observing it. Very soon, we will all be doing influential policy and development work in one area or another. How can this principle guide our work? It is very simple. If we are drafting a piece of policy or designing a project, and it is good enough to apply it to ourselves, of our closest ones, then it is a good project. If not, it is not good enough. For example, if we're going to open a clinic, is this clinic good enough that I would send my mother to it when she's sick? If yes, it is good enough. If not, it is not. If we are designing an educational program, is it good enough that I would let my children be trained by it? If so, it is good enough. If not, it is not. If we are setting up a standard of living, a wage, a package of services, is it good enough that we would subject our families to living by these standards? If so, it is good enough. If not, it is not. I am sure we have all seen in our careers or just in our lives how this is almost never the case. People in power tend to legislate and design for the ones they rule, which they supposedly care about, as if they were inferiors. They design projects that have lower quality than they would apply to themselves. They create health systems with basic services while they have full coverage for their families. They defund public schools while they send their children to private schools. They defund their entire countries while they send their families to live abroad. They say this minimum salary and these benefits are okay, while they have never lived 1 second of their lives under these circumstances, nor would they ever want to. This is the status quo. The history of this world is the history of humans treating humans as others. It has been a history of war after war, a history of domination, of colonization, of extraction, of extermination. And it is all because we cannot just abide by this simple principle. Right now, in the very same land that saw Jesus being born, terrible things are happening, backed up by policies of powerful institutions and powerful countries. We seem to be unable to love our neighbors as we love ourselves. So now we have a choice. In each opportunity, we will have to influence the lives of others. We will have a choice. And the future of the world will depend on each choice we make. So I hope that we go out and do the right thing, especially when it is inconvenient, and even more when it is dangerous. I love you all, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Ugo. We now recognize the Keough School's Master of Global Affairs students. Nilofar Adnoni, Tehran, Iran, with a concentration in global affairs and a graduate minor in peace studies. Margaret Adomako, from Accra, Ghana, with a concentration in international peace studies. Saeeda Nusrat Arbab, from Augusta, Georgia, with a concentration in sustainable development and a graduate minor in peace studies. Jacqueline Elizabeth Biedronski, from Tampa, Florida, with a concentration in sustainable development. Belen Carriedo, from Toppenish, Washington, with a concentration in global affairs. Justice Chiedozie Chukwu, from Isu Awa, Nigeria, with a concentration in international peace studies. Erin Elizabeth Connolly, from Meapack, New York, with a concentration in international peace studies. Maria Jose Daza Borges, from Bogota, Colombia, with a concentration in international peace studies. Inkjarach Dugrey, from Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, with a concentration in international peace studies. Violetta Farishevskaya, from Kamenets, Belarus, with a concentrations in global affairs and sustainable development. Hugo Ernesto Flores Navarro from Tecali, Puebla, Mexico, with a concentration in global affairs. Rachel Gagnon from South Burlington, Vermont, with a concentration in global affairs. Uriel Nario Galase from Manila, Philippines, with a concentration in sustainable development. Laura Judith Guerra from McAllen, Texas, with a concentration in sustainable development. Mulgeta Wuliesus Haibano from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, with a concentration in international peace studies. Shadwa Alaeddin Mahmoud Ibrahim from Cairo, Egypt, with a concentration in sustainable development. Eleanor Catherine Jones from Valparaiso, Indiana, with a concentration in sustainable development. Gulsein Khalibeeva from Moscow, Russia, with concentration in international peace studies. Janayam Kosabai from Astana, Kazakhstan, with a concentration in sustainable development. John Bosco Lugonja from Luwero, Uganda, with a concentration in international peace studies. Jaira K. Bancaya Luison from Butuan, Philippines, with a concentration in international peace studies. Bisharda Ali Mohammed from Nairobi, Kenya, with a concentration in international peace studies. Samuel Thomas Morris from Chandler, Arizona, with a concentration in sustainable development. Matilda Nassar from Bethlehem, Palestine, with a concentration in international peace studies. Asinamai Medugu Ndai from Lassa, Nigeria, with a concentration in sustainable development. Chioma Tanwa Okere from Lagos, Nigeria, with a concentration in global affairs. Makaya Caitlin Palmer from Sacramento, California, with a concentration in international peace studies. Sofia Maria Pietzuk from Arequipa, Peru, with a concentration in global affairs. Miriam Aelita Saikas from Gainesville, Florida, with a concentration in international peace studies. Christian Saez Flores from Planeta Rica, Colombia, with a concentration in international peace studies. Josefina Senese from Luján, Argentina, with a concentration in sustainable development. Kara Elizabeth Venzian from Goodyear, Arizona, with a concentration in sustainable development. Mohammed Sultan Jaman from Jessore, Bangladesh, with a concentration in global affairs.
Our final speaker for this evening is Scott Appleby, the Marilyn Keough Dean of the Keough School of Global Affairs. Dean Appleby will offer the charge to the class of 2021.
Good afternoon to everyone. I want to welcome especially the family and friends of our graduates. Graduates, those of you who attended this ceremony this morning in the football stadium, if I mispronounce your name, please stand up. Go ahead. I didn't think it was that bad. Thank you. You can sit down now. Sophia Piedic, is that right? Piedzuk, right? All right. What did I say? I choked. I said Piechuk. You know, and I practiced all weekend for this, and then I choked on so many of you. So I start out with apologies. It's just your name after all. Okay. Well, you made it. That's the headline today. All else is commentary. Martin Amis titled one of his books of literary criticism, The War Against Cliché. One of the unforeseen benefits of the pandemic has been the utter disabling of this form of speech, whereby overused platitudes stand in for original and honest communication. Facile, sunny generalizations will just not do anymore, will they? Adversity is good for the soul. The glass is half full, not half empty. Stay positive. And here's a favorite. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, no. The heartbreaking loss of loved ones, the impoverishment, death, or permanently impaired mental and physical health of millions of people around the world, our enforced isolation and loneliness, the interruption of trajectories and innocent expectations that things might go as once planned, none of this suffering killed us, thank God. Indeed, we are smiling and celebrating as we should be in this stadium today. But can we honestly say that we have come out stronger? Let us imagine a more informed and realistic commentary on what you may have gained by enduring the last 15 months. We might begin by acknowledging the fact that the year 2020 was a classic event. Its impact is such that we will never be able to unlearn its lessons or act like it did not happen. The coronavirus had a leveling effect, much like the murder of George Floyd. People of conscience can no longer pretend that violence is not at the heart of our societies, that we are not all equally vulnerable to hatred, indifference, and predatory behavior. We can no longer assume that laws and constitutions and charity are enough. The arc of the universe bends toward justice. Is that too another empty cliche? The breathtaking truth is that the answer will depend almost entirely on you. No simple summary of the ills facing this broken world will capture the heart of the matter. Pity will not be enough. Good intentions will not suffice. Undisciplined, scattered effort, however creative, will fail. That is why the Keough School faculty and staff, your senior colleagues, have been unusually desperate these last months. We see the writing on the wall, perhaps more clearly now than ever before. Your teachers and mentors, program directors and advisors have therefore done their level best to quiet their own fears and anxieties in order to share what little or much insight, knowledge, and wisdom they have acquired along the path to this pivotal moment in global affairs, in human development, indeed in world history. They know, we know, that you must gather the necessary personal and professional resources to enable you to stay the course for many years ahead. You cannot fall back on individual effort alone. You must collaborate, team up, find sustenance in common cause, never settle for easy answers. And so, Keough School Class of 2021, I charge you with the improbable but not impossible task of transforming the plague year into a platform for action. The year has made us ever more sober-minded, realistic, and detailed in our appraisal of the obstacles ahead. In order to succeed, your research, teaching, activism, advocacy, and attentiveness in pursuit of justice must be accompanied by a sustaining faith in your ability to prevail. Insist on open, honest communication. Don't be shy about praying for strength. And above all, avoid the cheap optimism of cliché. Thank you for sharing your lives and talents with us these years. Know that here at Notre Dame and the Keough School, we will continue to accompany, support, and cheer you on as you labor with grace and persistence for a peaceful, just, and humane future for all people. You can applaud now. Thank you. You can keep applauding. No, that's enough. We now conclude the Keough School ceremony. Would all graduates please remain in your seats until the platform party has left the stadium? Graduates, please follow the directions as you exit the field through the same route you entered. Faculty, friends, and family members are welcome to meet the graduates by the baseball stadium's main exterior entrance. Once outside, please keep walking toward the entrance so that those following you have room to exit. Thank you for your presence here today. Congratulations to the class of 2021. God bless you all.